Way and welcome to Geordieland 1892. I'm sorry I wasn't with you or couldn't put up a post-match for the Wolverhampton Wanderers game. Had work constraints. It was lots of other things going on. So I'm going to briefly talk about that very quickly. I thought Newcastle United on Friday night were absolutely brilliant at St James's Park. The way they played, across the back, the midfield was absolutely solid. Obviously, we're missing Joe Willock. He had a knee injury, and I'm really happy that Howe didn't play him. And why would you? You know what I mean? Why stick the kid in? Give him a little bit of time to rest, make sure he's fine. But as it happened, like I say, the midfield were they were an engine. They were an engine. And Joe Linton was fantastic. John Joe Shelby had a good game. And I'll tell you what, Bruno Guimaraes was outstanding. Man of the match. He got the man of the match and thoroughly deserved as well. Now, I know Wolves were missing players on Friday night. But at the end of the day, they lost Neto in the first 15 minutes. Pedro. We also lost Fraser quite early on, and Almiron had to come in to take his place. Fraser with a bit of a thigh strain, I think. But Newcastle, played really, really well, and unity. They fought for each other, and I thought, their accomplishment of passing and the way they played, it looked really, really good. They looked comfortable. They didn't really give a lot to Wolves, to be fair. Martin de Bradford didn't have that much to do, but when he did have anything to do, there was one particular save I remember, absolutely top draw save, which is very difficult when you're a goalkeeper, because if all game you've got nothing to do, you've got to work on your concentration, and he did exactly that, and he was brilliant. Now, Miggy Almiron, absolutely sublime back heel, which we thought was our first goal, and we thought was Chris Wood's first goal at St James's Park, but it was ruled out by VAR. It turned out that Bruno was offside, and he was. Chris Wood was down on the deck, but he's managed to wrap a foot around it and stick it in. But like I say, to no ado, it was ruled out. Chris Wood got his glory in the end. He got his first goal, and it was started by a lovely piece of work by Alan Saint-Maximin. Beautiful move. He just supplied a beautiful little action. Good pass to Joe Linton. Joe Linton absolutely freight train down the pitch, and he plays a great ball to Chris Wood. Chris Wood's one-on-one with the keeper, the Wolves keeper, Sarr, and Sarr sticks his leg out. It's a nailed-on penalty. Some of the pundits after the game were saying that it wasn't a penalty, it shouldn't have been a penalty, but unless I don't know the rules of football anymore, it was nailed on. Chris Wood picked up the ball, as you would expect, put it on the penalty spot, executed it brilliantly with power, and that was his first goal at St James's Park, and I'm really pleased for him, and hopefully more to come. Pretty much that's all about the Wolves game. I'm just going to briefly talk about it, but the 12th man again, St James's Park was rocking, and the war flags prior were unbelievable. Great, another 3 points after it seems like an eternity since we played at St James's Park back, and obviously the next game on Sunday, Easter Sunday, is against Leicester City. Now, in recent years, Leicester City have kind of done better than us, but I'm going to talk today about some of the games we've played against Leicester City that have been really, really important. I was at one of those such games, and travelling to Filbert Street in the 91-92 season, and Leicester were, well, basically on the last game of the season, if they had won, they would have gone for automatic promotion to the First Division. On the other hand, Newcastle United had to win to stay in the Second Division. If we had lost that game, we would have went down to the old Third Division, which would have been a catastrophe. The Magpie Group had taken over Newcastle at that point. Earlier in the season, Ozzy Ardiles was the manager. He was let go, and in came Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott on a verbal 13-week contract. It was his job to keep Newcastle United from the Third Division. Obviously, when he came, euphoria started in Tyneside, in Geordieland, because of his, his past with the club as a player. He wasn't really a recognised manager at that point. It was his first appointment, and well, I'm going to tell you a little story. So the way I remember it is Newcastle had lost 5 games in a row at the end of the season, and it had put us in a very precarious predicament. And we were scrapping for our lives financially, because going down to the Third Division probably could have bankrupted Newcastle. They were in a lot of debt at the time. It could have been the breaking of Newcastle United. Now, the second last game of the season was at St James's Park, and we played Portsmouth, and we had to win that game, even to have a glimmer of hope of staying up. And we did. We beat them 1-0, and this man, David Kelly, did this.
Ray Ransom. Kelly couldn't quite reach it. Quinn. Kelly! That'll do! You cannot put a price on that goal from David Kelly. 5 short minutes remaining, and David Kelly, who's come up with the goals that Newcastle needed most, has come up with the one they needed most of all.
Fantastic. And there was belief, we could stay up. But like I say, we had to go to Filbert Street. Obviously Leicester play at the King Power Stadium now, but then their old ground was Filbert Street, and I was lucky enough to get a ticket with some of the rest of my friends, and off we went down to Leicester. Now, such was the proportion of Geordies, Newcastle fans, going down to Leicester for that last game of the season. The police actually cordoned off the whole of Leicester, and they were doing checkpoints, believe it or not. If you didn't have a ticket, they would just send you on your way, send you back out the city limits. It seems unbelievable, doesn't it? But that's what they were doing, and we were stopped, and we all had valid tickets, and we were allowed in. I managed to park the car, hid the car away, just in case we did survive, because I had a feeling that there was going to be a bit of ill temperament from the Leicester fans, and I did find that out. But I did hide the car, and off we went on the walk. It seemed all jovial up towards the stadium until we got to the Newcastle United designated pub. At that point, everything was fine. There was all Newcastle supporters in there, but then the Leicester fans kicked in the doors, and there was holy hell. All went off, windows being broken, and chairs flying about. Anyway, managed to get out of that and got ourselves up to the stadium. Now, it was quite an atmosphere, I tell you, and it was an amazing atmosphere, and obviously they honestly thought they were going to roll us over that day and get promotion. We were praying that we were going to stay up. We obviously thought it was against us, but the support was absolutely dynamic from Newcastle, and the team came out and they played for their lives. They put in a performance that was unbelievable. You couldn't ask any more from them. For me, it was Leicester that froze on the spot. They were like rabbits in car headlights, you know what I mean? So anyway, the game kicked off. Like I say, Newcastle having much better the game. We had much more chances. They didn't really bother us too much. And then this happened just before half time.
The referee has another look at his watch. And after a bright and very breezy start, tension and anxiety. Oh, a dreadful back pass. Peacock's there. It's in. And Newcastle United have scored after a dreadful mistake by Steve Thompson. Tried to casually lay it back to Muggleton. Gavin Peacock was in there in a flash. Muggleton off his line, could do nothing about it. Peacock cleverly chipped him. And the Newcastle fans on that far side going absolutely spare.
Right, so Gavin Peacock, he's benefited from a really bad back pass there, and obviously Newcastle United, where they were going absolutely mental, silenced Filbert Street, silenced the Leicester fans, and then we got to the second half. Now, Newcastle in the second half had chances galore. Franz Carr, I seem to remember having a great chance, but it was an absolutely great save by the keeper. But it was running out of time, still 1-0, and honestly, I thought we were home and dry. I thought it was over until this happened.
They're up on the watch, but we had a bit of stoppage time. James with a throw. Walsh gets it on. Russell back with Mills. Cross it comes. Walsh, he's done it. Steve Walsh, in the dying seconds of the game, has equalised for Leicester. And now we have got the Leicester supporters on the pitch, and that is absolutely stupid.
Right, so Steve Walsh equalises, 90th minute, unbelievable, heart sunk. I thought that's it, we're down, you know what I mean, we're down, we're finished. And an unbelievable chain of events happened. There was time added on for stoppages, and this happened.
The referee still hasn't looked at his watch. Muggleton off his line. Oh, it's there! Goodness me! Steve Walsh. Oh, and this is really going to get absolutely... Leicester equalising with what, just a minute to go, and suddenly Steve Walsh, the hero at one end, suddenly gets in a mix-up at the other end with his own goalkeeper, gives away a tragic own goal.
Absolutely unbelievable. You know, Steve Walsh from being hero went to zero. Sticking it through his own net there. After that, I didn't really care. The final whistle went, and I didn't really care what was going on. Obviously, Leicester invaded the pitch, as you could see there, and they were going crackers, and they were baying for blood. Getting out of Filbert Street that day was an absolute nightmare. Every road, every alley that we took, there was just groups and groups and groups of them trying to kick our heads in, basically. But Newcastle United had survived, and I would call that the Great Escape, and it really was. We actually managed to get back to our car. It was all in one piece, and it was a monumentous day. It was a game that I'll never forget. Couldn't sleep the night before, agitated on the drive down. During the game, biting my fingers, biting my toes, biting my nose. And do you know what it is? I mean, it happened. We did it. And, Kevin Keegan and Terry McDermott, at that point, were contractless. Have a listen to Terry McDermott here.
I couldn't believe when they scored in the 90th minute. It was 90 minutes on the clock here, and I just found that hard to believe. But in the end, it's come right for us, and I honestly believe that we deserved it.
I think so too. The boss is now besieged, surrounded by pressmen. What's going to happen to Newcastle with yourself and Kevin Keegan?
It's in the board of directors' court now. We've come here on a 13-week contract, which it was a verbal agreement rather than a contract, that we're going to keep Newcastle United in the second division, and then we're finished at the end of it. Which, as from now, we're no longer manager of Newcastle United or in the management team, but that can easily be changed. We certainly want to stay. We love the club, we love the fans, and I'm sure we can change the club around because they've been in the doldrums for the last 8 years, and we'd love to see the good times back at Newcastle, and if anyone can bring them good days back to Newcastle, it's the boss.
But the thing is, right, we were down there, and that was the end of the season. We were up, and we had stopped Leicester from going up automatically. They were so angry. Not surprisingly, but we had, like I say, it was the Great Escape for us, not going to the third division. And I've got another video to come a year later, when we meet Leicester in the last game of the season again. We're already champions, but I'll tell you what happened in the next video. After that game, actually, we had a week's holiday, and we went to the exotic climes of Milton Keynes just because we had mates living down there. Fantastic memories there. But we will get into the next game a year later. Last game of the season, still Kevin Keegan, Terry McDermott in charge, and what a change in the club. That was me, Geordieland 1892. Stay tuned for part 2, and please, if you like this video, like it, and please subscribe. Share it if you know somebody who was at that game, or somebody who doesn't know about that game. I would doubt that anybody doesn't know about that game, but please subscribe, and that's me, and all the best.